Hi guys. Now, I know I haven't made a video for a while, and this is because I am reading and spending my time. I do work and, I do research a lot, and which does take a lot of time. But I want to go over a few points again, because the issue of the flat earth, guys, comes down to your own perceptions of how you perceive things to actually be. Now, from a psychological point of view, the flat earth basically, in abusive relationships, the abuse, whether physical or emotional, has an effect on the perception of the abused. Now, this is called gaslighting. Now, gaslighting is a form of mental abuse where the abuser lies so much about obvious truths that the target soon gives up trying to understand reality for themselves and just accept what they are told because they're less cognitive dissonance. We are being gaslighted collectively, guys. But if we question the lies which contradict our own senses, we risk over abuse. We are called stupid, moronic, and uninformed. But in the face of such hostility, it's easier not to question what we are being gaslighted about. In other words, we're coerced into protecting the big lie, and by proxy, all the small lies and deceptions which emanate from it. So when a person is subject to constant invalidation over time, they eventually cease to trust their own senses, guys. It works like this. The abused woman says that she wants to go to school, or man, but the abused boyfriend, girlfriend says, why? You're kind of old for that, not to mention you're no Tesla or Einstein. The statement could be entirely fallacious, but she may have been a successful student, or he may have been a successful student in the past, but doesn't actually acknowledge it. In other words, they impress their own version upon them. So sometimes it's more suitable for, you might say, for instance, speak for her. So in doing so, he defines for her what he likes and dislikes. So for an example, you order a cup of coffee and they say, no, you want tea. And they say, well, no coffee. You like tea more, remember? Last time you had coffee, this late, you couldn't sleep, remember? So this exchange is intended to coerce the response so that you would agree, but still wanted the coffee, but learns not to rock the boat long ago, because you would get angry when, they assert themselves in public, and it takes disagreement as a sign of disloyalty. So now longer the dynamic, if you will, exists, the less they respond as herself as a free thinking individual. She just goes with the version of, because it's much easier than having a fight every single step of the way. But fast forward that relationship 10 years and you start to feel very empty like a robot and basically don't know what you like and dislike. You spend more time being pliable, manipulatable, and obedient. In short, guys, gaslighting is how a superior will impose itself on an inferior one. Okay? When the globe earth deception is introduced to you, it is done to get you to accept a point of view which your own senses tell you is false. Flat earthers are stupid, it is said, and you never hear any other perspective but the globe earth one. But the globe earth, it so happens, guys, is a distorted model of the plane we actually inhabit. It tricks us into remaining in a ball. There's an infinite frontier awaiting us, but we are locked up and tricked into remaining where we are. The model of the Earth which is being conceived is nothing like what we are being taught, guys. Not only is the Earth not a globe, but the solar system is certainly not heliocentric, and the sizes and distance of the celestial bodies have all been distorted in order to complete the illusion. So let's get a few things out there. The flat Earth, as we know, guys, is a model of the universe in which the Earth is not a tiny, isolated globe adrift in a vast, ever-expanding abyss. Few of the theories, assumptions, and claims which compromise the ball Earth model actually carry over into the flat Earth one. Now, in the flat Earth model, the Sun is not the centre of the solar system, nor is it 93 million miles away. In the flat Earth model, the Earth is the stationary centre of the visible universe, and the Sun, along with other celestial bodies, circumambulate the North Pole. This model takes the observable facts of nature and arrive at a geocentric universe in which our world is the epicenter. Now, the Sun is actually estimated to be between 32 to 34 miles in diameter, and is no more than a few hundred to a few thousand miles above the Earth's flat surface. It traces a circle around the North Pole, facilitating between the Tropic of Cancer, the circle marking the latitude 23.5 degrees north, and at the Tropic of Capricorn is an imaginary line of the latitude going around the Earth at approximately 23.5 degrees south of the equator, thus accounting for the seasons. The Moon is considered to be roughly the same size as the Sun, and is also considered to be much closer to the Earth than 238,900 miles in the ball Earth model. It is accepted as probable that the Apollo 11 moon landing was not only faked, but it's not even possible, guys, to land on the moon. Flat Earth researchers, us, have not even determined what the moon is, which is correct. But it is safe to say that the advocates of this model posit the moon may be, let's say, self-illuminating rather than reflecting the sun's light. If we accept the sun is a him and the moon a her, it is a perfect equilibrium of hot and cold. As the sun emulates hot, the moon emulates cold. And you can check that with thermotemperature gauges. But gravity does not exist in our flat Earth model either, guys. Or let's actually put this a better way, actually, because the way that gravity is taught may not be how it actually is. But we do know that, Tesla found this, didn't he? That there is obviously a force which acts like gravity, but it is not known how it works because, as we know, in other words, the moon isn't caught in the gravitational orbit of the globular planetary body, but it's obviously held there in the same mysterious process which drives the sun on the circuit. But a major point, guys, in perhaps the key to understanding the flat Earth cosmology is the contention that there is no South Pole. There is no Antarctica as the globe describes it. Antarctica is in fact a composite created by inverting the inner boundaries of a circular ice wall which surrounds the continents of the place we call Earth. This is a ring of ice in what the ball Earth model actually conceals. The concealment, again, is on the UN flag and is an accurate representation of the azimuthal equidistant projection of the flat Earth, with the North Pole in the centre and the so-called southern hemisphere stretch outwards into a ring. Like how a ring magnet works, guys, what we use for speakers every day. It is the same concept. But note, guys, the UN flag does not contain Antarctica, does it? We all know the story of the globe, guys, but we happen to know both the globe and the alternatives, and we must be the subject matter experts, really, because we have to know how to articulate the flat Earth model to those that have never heard it, except really as a punchline. But the flat Earth model disputes whether space itself, along with the planets and the stars, are anything at all like what we've been taught. In other words, the flat Earth model actually calls into question the very nature of the sky. Why is it blue? Outer space, the size and the nature of the stars and the planets themselves. The paradigm-shattering implications of the flat Earth model far exceed those of any previous explanations offered by science or religion this far. But to enter in this field of research, guys, is to have one's own fundamental assumptions, one's own world, as it were, turned literally inside out. It takes a great deal of courage and confidence to take on uncomfortable truths, but flat Earth research is not for the faint or the herd-minded conformist. But if status consciousness is more important to you than truth, then remain on your spinning ball to your own detriment. Because finding the truth means entering into the grey area where one must admit to not knowing everything, where one must embrace uncertainty. And this is not for everybody. Not everybody is actually secure enough in themselves to embrace this level of intellectual honesty. But if the ball model is proven to be a correct one, but it won't, because the Earth, as we've said, has always been a flat motionless disk. But let's just hypothetically say if it is proven to be one, then flat Earth researchers will basically, find themselves on firmer ground than even the die-hard ball Earth fundamentalists who have not even inspected their own foundations. But to me, pursuing the truth seems inherently more rewarding than literally accepting revealed truths at face value. And it's well worth the risk of being proven wrong. Which, when you research from a ball Earth point of view to disprove the flat Earth, you find yourself more intrigued to the fact that it is more flat than it is round. But I'm going to ask you, the ball Earthers on the other side of the screen, how do you know that the Earth is actually spinning? Could your senses actually differentiate between a massive sun nearly 100 million miles away and a much smaller one that's circling the North Pole? If it wasn't for NASA, Mr. or Mrs. Ball Earther, then how would you know the Earth to be a globe? And can your scientific research be corrupted by the very individuals or institutions that are trying to push a political agenda? But on the other hand, do you consider yourself to be an open-minded skeptic or a closed-minded dogmaticist? What would it actually take to convince you that your heliocentrism Bohr model is a lie? I thank you for watching this upload on a few flat earth questions that one must ask in order to really understand this trauma-based mind control of a globular heliocentric ball. But I want to wish you, on the other side of the screen, all the luck in the world. Thank you very much again for watching. Hit the subscribe if you're new to the channel, as we all need to stick together if we're on a flat earth quest. You guys, take care.